Hello, welcome to Just the Discs. I talk about Blu-rays here. My name's Brian, and I just recently did a haul video for a purchase that I made from OrbitDVD, and I've got another one. This was made via a online coupon that was available in conjunction with OrbitDVD and the podcast Chasing Labels, which is a show that I have been on and a show that I recommend you check out if you're into Blu-rays. These guys are deep into the topic of Blu-rays and keeping on top of what's coming out. They talk about new release announcements every week, and as you know, if you follow physical media at all, it's a very busy topic in terms of the amount of stuff coming out every week from all the different labels around the world. And so you need some help. And that's partially why I'm here, but they do a great job of keeping on top of what's coming out. So they had a coupon for 15% off that I took advantage of from OrbitDVD. And OrbitDVD, of course, also has an ongoing policy of buying 3 items and getting free shipping, no matter what the cost of those 3 items are. I don't think there might be like a $5 minimum or something like that, but so it was a good deal, and there was a few things that I saw on the site that they had in stock. And by the way, if you don't know OrbitDVD, they're very much like Diabolic in some ways, except they don't do pre-orders at this time, and there's a big focus on imports, which I picked up a couple of from them, and so they have a lot of imports in stock, and so you can always be looking for lots of import titles that you could snag from them that you don't have to import yourself. So first one was Get Carter in 4K, the original Mike Hodges film from 1971. I'm just going to bust this open right now. And as you can see, it's got the HDR sticker that we love to see on it. And of course, Michael Caine as the famous character out for revenge. Okay, so we got a J card. We got tons of special features on this one. Let's see, newly recorded introduction by Michael Caine, audio commentary by Mike Hodges and Michael Caine and Wolfgang Sashitsky. Audio commentary featuring Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw. I'm very excited for that one, by the way. Isolated score by Roy Budd, one of the great scores of this period. Just when you hear it, it's got such a great groove to it. It's so good. Mike Hodges in Conversation, 2022, 60 minutes. Director discusses his career in this interview recorded at BFI South Bank. Klinger on Klinger. Tony Klinger recalls and evaluates the career of his father, Michael Klinger, producer of Get Carter. Don't Trust the Boys, 2022, 22 minutes. Actor Petra Markham reflects on her career on stage and screen and recalls her role in Get Carter. The Sound of Roy Budd, 17 minutes. Johnny Trunk explores the varied career of Roy Budd and revisits his iconic score for Get Carter. BBC Look North Location Report, 1975 minutes. Roy Budd plays Get Carter, 1971, 4 minutes. Michael Caine's message to the premiere attendees. So you've got some older stuff in terms of press materials. Double-sided poster, UK quad. I mean, so it comes with obviously a very nice thick sort of box there, and then we have our poster, which is the quad poster, which is great. It's too big for me to even fully fold out, I think, but you get the idea. That's great. Then we have a lovely book, not a booklet, this is a book, bound with essays, one by Mark Kermode to open this up. Contains spoilers. If you haven't seen Get Carter, don't read Mark Kermode's essay. But lots of good stuff in here. Interviews, I think, as well, or is it just all? And there's a Movie Drome review by Alex Cox. He obviously showed this on his program Movie Drome back in the day, and very cool stuff. And then, of course, the Ultra HD itself, which includes the 4K disc, which is of course not region locked, and then a region locked Blu-ray, region B, and some lobby cards. So had to snag me some Get Carter. Had been meaning to when I saw it was announced, and just kind of sat on it for a while. But then when this sale came up, I was like, okay, Get Carter, got to do that. Next, we have more British stuff. We have from Second Sight, The Mummy, the 1959 Hammer production of The Mummy. Another one that I am very much looking forward to watching, as I am a big fan. This is one of my favorite Hammer films, one of my favorite Christopher Lee. And I mean, Christopher Lee as The Mummy is great, but also Cushing's really great in this. And I think the original Mummy is fine, but this is way more dynamic and interesting. And Christopher Lee, I mean, Boris Karloff, great Mummy, but Christopher Lee, probably better in my mind. So this is another great, hard box for The Mummy. And you don't really need me to explain The Mummy, I hope. But in 1895, a team of British archaeologists discovered the untouched tomb of Princess Ananka, but accidentally bring the mummified body of her high priest back to life. 3 years later, back in England, a follower of the same Egyptian religion unleashes the mummy to exact grisly revenge on the despoilers of the sacred past. Okay, so let me just do the features really quick, and then I'll take it out. But so you have main feature presented in UK theatrical ratio of 1:6:6 and alternative 1:3:7 So you get a 4:3 frame and a 1:6:6 frame, which is, not quite widescreen, not quite 4:3. New audio commentary by film academic Kelly Robinson, archive audio commentary by Marcus Hearn and Jonathan Rigby, an appreciation of The Mummy by David Huckvale, the music of The Mummy, Unwrapping the Mummy, The House of Horror, Memories of Bray, Hammer Rep Company, original promo reel, rigid slipcase with new artwork by Graham Humphreys, which is really nice. I like that artwork. And softcover book with new essays by Kat Ellinger, Lindsay Hallam, and Kevin Lyons, and production stills, and then 5 collector cards. Okay. So Second Sight, I think I mentioned them on the channel a little bit, but really great work in terms of their restorations, really great work in terms of their packaging. This is a region B locked Blu-ray. Here are the collector cards, and then here is a really nice book with those essays I mentioned. Very nice, matte. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love that when I saw they were doing this, I was like, okay, gotta get that. Second Sight is a mostly must-have release label for me. They mostly do just seem to find stuff that's in my wheelhouse that I just have to get because I know the releases are going to be great, and they are. So that's The Mummy. I'm very excited to check this one out. And then I have one more Blu-ray. This is a movie called Banned. And as far as I know, this is the first actual physical media release of this movie. I could be wrong about that. Maybe there's some kind of DVD available somewhere, but I've been aware of this movie for many years now because of the Destroy All Movies book, The History of Punks in Film. Unfortunately now out of print, I believe. Zach Carlson and Brian Connolly co-wrote the book. There were some other authors on some other essays, but I remember Zach mentioning this film specifically as one of the punk movies in the book, and I was always like, well, I need to see that, and of course it was very hard to see, and now it is available on Blu-ray, and it is directed by Roberta Findlay, who should be a name that you should recognize because she's been a darling of labels like Vinegar Syndrome, and they put out her movies Primeval, Lurkers. I feel like I don't know if they did Blood Sisters or not, but there's a movie she did called Tenement that Vinegar Syndrome didn't put out. The Oracle. There's a lot of horror movies she did, but she did a lot of other stuff as well. I feel like there's even more. A Woman's Torment, I think, is a Vinegar Syndrome release. So she's gotten quite a lot of love from them on Blu-ray. And this may be, according to IMDb, her last film that she made. And I don't know too much about it. It says, when a smooth jazz guitarist is demonically possessed by the ghost of Teddy Homicide, a notorious violent punk rocker, all hell and guitar strings are sure to break loose. This is Grindhouse Grand Diva Roberta Findlay's last feature film. The never-before-released, eagerly awaited, unseen cult film that has steadily gained in reputation since it was completed and unceremoniously shelved in 1989. And it says this is fully restored, uncut, and freshly 4K scanned special edition. And you get a choice of aspect ratios as well, 1:3:3 open matte and a 1:7:8. And there are new interviews with director Roberta Findlay and cast member Debbie Rochon included as special features. This is a Media Blasters release. Good for them. So that's your slip and your... So yeah, so this sound, Punk possesses... Ghost of Punk possesses some dude. Region A locked Blu-ray, by the way. But yeah, a movie that I just had heard about for years and was excited to see got a release. I didn't even realize it was out until I was scrolling through OrbitDVD's website and came across it being released. So I threw it in the cart as one of my 3 things. And then lastly, on DVD only, you can't do that on film. The definitive feature-length documentary about the cult classic children's television show You Can't Do That on Television, which was, to me, a very formative thing. Something I watched the crap out of as a kid on early cable Nickelodeon. And for those that don't know, it was, a Canadian show with a bunch of kids with some recurring sketches, including one where they would stick their heads out of lockers. It was kind of like a kids laugh-in sort of vibe, but they were kind of gross, and they were notorious for having these stage sequences where characters would come out and give sort of monologues and give exchanges, but if they said the word water, they would get water dumped on their head, or if they said I don't know, they would get slime dumped on their head, this green slime, which is what that's about. And I was always curious to know more about the production, and I think this might be available streaming somewhere, but I thought, well, I can't really show that on the channel, so why not get this? And this obviously has more in the way of features. It says, what happens when you travel back to the birthplace of green slime? For an entire generation of classic Nickelodeon fans, it's finding the Holy Grail. Join filmmaker David Dillahunt for You Can't Do That on Film, the definitive feature-length documentary about the cult classic children's television show You Can't Do That on Television. This revolutionary program broke all the rules, let kids be kids, and taught viewers everywhere to avoid uttering the phrase, I don't know. Packed with rare photos and memorable moments. You Can't Do That on Film includes interviews with nearly 24 original cast and crew members, including Les Lai, Christine McGlade, Moose, Alistair Gillis, Adam Reed, and Alanis Morissette. Yes, Alanis Morissette got her start in this show. So that's awesome that she's interviewed for this. Full screen 4:3 presentation. This documentary is from 2004, so it's been around a while. But I wasn't really that aware of it until I saw this DVD. Extras include interview with Roger Price, extended interviews with Les Lai, Adam Reed, and Jeffrey Darby, SlimeCon 2002 and SlimeCon 2004, weekend recaps, outtakes, and behind the scenes of Project 131, 2006 fan-made pilot, and so forth. So if you are a fan of You Can't Do That on Television like I am, you probably already heard about this DVD and picked it up. I'm sure other channels have talked about it previous to mine, but I just wasn't aware of it. So it seemed like the perfect thing. I think it was like $9, and I just threw it in the cart along with the others to get my 15% off. Now that coupon that I mentioned that was in conjunction with Chasing Labels has expired. I do hope we will see another one at some point, and I also do hope that OrbitDVD will become an official sponsor of Chasing Labels, as they really have promoted that site quite a bit. And I'm sure they were one of a few places that made me aware of OrbitDVD and how cool a site it is and how fun it is to shop there and how well they pack their stuff. You know, it's like really nicely done. And the great variety of imports that they have, you know, so check it out. Do the buy 3 get free shipping thing, and you'll find it quite addictive, I think, as I've mentioned in my previous video. So that's it for my haul video for my second OrbitDVD order. There's everything. Just wanted to talk about it yet again and recommend them. But that will do it for the show today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.